Unless you'd rather start on your back, just kind of letting your energy direct how you start. Kind of let your energy set the tone for your practice. And I know it's a yin practice, but just letting yourself just be with yourself the way that you are. Not wanting to change anything. Just allowing ourselves to be fully here now. Maybe you wiggle your toes and just acknowledge that you have toes. Roll the shoulders back. Maybe bring the ears to the shoulders on either side. Maybe drop the neck down and then bring the ears back over the shoulders. Let's feel our natural breath, just our effortless yin breathing. We have a beautiful quote from Mark Nepo that I'd like to share tonight that we can bring into our space. The further I wake into this life, the more I realize that God is everywhere and the extraordinary is waiting quietly beneath the skin of all that is ordinary. Light is in both the broken bottle and the diamond. And music is in both the flowing violin and the water dripping from the drainage pipe. Yes, God is under the porch as well as on top of the mountain. And joy is in both the front row and the bleachers, if we are willing to be where we are. So let's be where we are. Which is exactly what our yin practice is. It's about being where we are. Whether we're the broken glass or the diamond, whether we're in the front row or the bleachers, God is everywhere. Let's maybe bring our hands to our heart center. Let's just rub them together, creating just a little bit of warmth. Our yin practice is that cooling practice. So we'll create some warmth. And then when you get your hands nice and warm, maybe you place them on your cheeks, your shoulders, your thighs, your stomach, your heart. Just kind of anywhere that you want to bring some warmth. Bring some awareness tonight. And then let those hands come down to your lap and be where they are. Now, as if moving through a dream, or as if moving through a meditation, let's come into our first shape tonight. We're going to bring our blocks like railroad tracks with the long edge facing the short edge of the mat. So here's the long edge, you guys can see that, and I'm just going to place it in line with that short edge. So what we're doing is what we call our lung bench. So we're going to kind of scoot those buns ever far away, come down onto the forearms, and then get that first block in line kind of with the bottom of the ribs. And then we're going to lay across the ribs across the block. And then that second block is going to come under the head. And then we can bring our arms out to the side. I've got my feet kind of one in front of another, my knees out like butterfly. You can bring your feet together for reclined butterfly. You can bring your knees to the sky with your feet wide. You can bring your legs long. And if this is not comfortable, like this under your chest for whatever reason, then maybe just come onto a bolster behind the back rather than the blocks. Yeah, so just bring that entire bolster underneath you. You just want to lift the chest, lift those lungs. Yep. Nice job. Let's find ourselves right here. We'll only be here for a couple of minutes. Allowing us to drop into the blocks, into our space. Maybe notice if you have any squinting in the eyes and relax the face. Maybe you bring your awareness to the melody of a nearby drainage pipe with the water staccatoing onto the ground. Just dropping in. Now with mindful awareness, let's just notice the bolster behind the back, the blocks behind the back, the points of contact on our support. Now maybe we bring one foot flat to the ground. I'm going to roll one hip underneath and then come over on, lifting the head, come over onto a forearm, place one hand below us. Lift off the bolster, off the blocks, Slide the bolster or the blocks off to the side. And then find your rebound. I say this almost every week, but we practice yin for the rebound because it just often can feel so just relieving and not to insert an experience or tell you how it's going to feel, but just notice how this rebound feels. And then let go of any awareness and just be. Now, whenever you're ready, coming from your back, let's roll over onto our stomachs. And I'm going to just keep my blanket on my legs because our legs really aren't going to do much in this next shape. So just maybe cover your legs up as you roll over. And so when you get to your stomach, I'm just going to bring that left arm out like a T and then roll over onto the left side. So you're kind of lying down on that left shoulder. That left shoulder or arm is behind you. I'm going to open up the back of that arm. And here you can kind of bend the legs if that makes you feel more stable. If you want, you can bring a pillow under the head. Let that arm extend behind you. And then if you want, you can bring that right arm up and let that right arm come behind you and just kind of hang out. Or maybe you bring those hands to meet and clasp behind the back and then kind of pull them up kind of towards the head. So they're not so much near the low back, but more towards the head. Let me roll over so you can see it from behind. So you've got one arm behind you, you're on the side. You can either keep that other arm kind of hanging out or clasp the hands. Bring those arms up. So whatever kind of feels accessible. We'll be here for about 5 minutes, knowing that you can come out of the shape at any time, knowing that we don't ever want to feel pain. Maybe a little discomfort and it might go away, but never any pain. Feeling that chest open. Close the eyes and remove any expression from the face. Notice if you're engaging a hip or a leg to keep yourself kind of from falling over, and see if you can stack the legs or stack the knees in a way that can be a little bit more effortless. The further I wake into this life, the more I realize that God is everywhere. See if we can let go of any self-inflicted pressures or expectations. Letting ourselves be where we are. Now let's begin to count down from 10 together. So inhaling for 10 and exhaling for 10. Inhaling for 9 and exhaling for 9. Inhaling for 8. Exhale for 5. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Draw the breath in. Let the breath go. In and out. In. And one more breath in. Maybe pause at the top of the inhale. And then on an exhale, gently release the clasp of the hands if you had the hands clasped. Gently bring one arm forward in front of the heart, in front of that chest. Now you can either roll onto your belly and then make your way to your back. Maybe you press up a little, bring that arm out, and then roll onto your back for your rebound. Maybe you stay on your stomach for your rebound, but just bring your body so it's parallel with the floor and everything is neutral. And let your body sink into the earth. Feel that chi moving freely through the body. And then when you're ready, you can make your way onto your stomach. We'll come into that on the other side. So whichever arm was on top this time, bring it on the bottom. Bring it behind you. Let that other arm maybe come over top and the hands meet. Maybe it just kind of flails above the body. Maybe you rest it on your side. Allow yourself to rest. Letting God fill the stillness and the silence. And whatever that means to you, whatever that stillness is to you. If it's not comfortable on this side, you can always come to a wall, place a hand on the wall. Just gonna lean out of the wall. The further I wake into this life, the more I realize that God is everywhere. And the extraordinary is waiting quietly beneath the skin of all that is ordinary. Yin allows us to be in the quiet, to tap into that extraordinary that's waiting quietly. Even noticing the quietest thing that you hear. Becoming one with that quiet. Notice where your toes are in space. Notice where your knees are. Notice your hips, shoulders, your inner ears. Notice your elbows, your wrists, and your fingers. When you're ready, quietly make your way onto your back. Finding that rebound. And being in this rebound and feeling the quiet in the rebound. Maybe noticing what quiet feels like in your body. Feeling that chi expand in all directions. Maybe one, or maybe it's settling. Now one more breath in your rebound. And exhale, let the breath go. And then let's slowly roll over to one side to make our way up to a seated position for our next shape. Oh, off of that floor. All right, ladies, so let's bring our feet nice and wide. I shouldn't even say nice and wide, just as wide as feels right for you. Because the bottoms of my feet, we can't really see, but here's my feet. So however wide apart, bring your legs flat. However wide or close together you want your legs. Let's inhale to bring our arms up above the head. Let the feet be floppy, so we're not flexing the feet or anything special with the feet. Let's turn our sternum, that heart, towards the right foot. And then we'll just lean over that leg and let the hands come down. Maybe you want to find some blocks and you let those hands just come onto blocks and you let that head hang. And tuck the chin in, let the head hang forward. The arms can come to the ground or to the blocks. Maybe you mindfully keep that left buttermilk biscuit on the floor. Maybe it lifts a little bit. Just notice where it naturally goes and see what feels better to you. To let it lift up, or if you want to maybe consciously move back so it still stays down. And we'll surrender over this right leg. So nice. The light is in both the broken bottle and the diamond. Notice if you're holding your breath. Notice if it's just kind of a suspension of breath, because there's a little bit of a difference. Sometimes we hold our breath if we're nervous or anxious or excited. But when we're relaxed, there's often this suspension of breath. And even though it is probably physiologically the same thing, it's a little bit different emotionally, right? So let ourselves drop into the suspension of breath where it's just effortless breath. Effortless pause with the breath that just happens naturally as we relax. Now perhaps lifting the head up just a little. And then maybe bringing hands to the blocks or hands to the floor, pressing up. And now we're not going to go right into our rebound. We're going to move the blocks out of the way. If you have a blanket over your knees or legs like I do, move the blanket and bring the feet together in butterfly. We'll come into our seated butterfly. And then maybe you hinge forward and lean towards the heart, towards the toes. And then we'll tuck that chin, let that head be heavy. Maybe you notice it on the inside of your legs or you notice it on the back. If you're not feeling it really anywhere, maybe you want to try coming into your Malasana, which is our feet kind of pointed out, dropping those hips down and just letting yourself hang. That's also going to open up that back a little bit too, that low back. So whether butterfly or your garland pose, allow yourself to be where you are. Music is in both the flowing violin and the water dripping from the drainage pipe. Really nice, guys. Dropping into that quiet. The extraordinary waits quietly. Maybe you tell yourself that everything's okay. The urinary bladder meridian runs along the back, along the spine. And that's what works with the kidneys, and the kidneys are that part of us that like to know that existentially that we're okay. So if you feel some fear kind of slither in or kind of greet you when you're in these shapes, that's completely normal as we round our spine. And now wherever you are, maybe gently bringing those shoulders over the hips. If you're in Malasana, yet kind of come up and yet bring those hands back. And let's send the legs out long again to our dragonfly. And with our feet wide, we'll inhale to bring our arms up overhead. You might already notice a little bit of a rebound as we have the legs out, right? We're going to turn the heart towards the left. And then we'll exhale to hinge over that left leg. Yep, and then let the hands drape down. Let the feet be lazy. Let the chin come to the chest. Let everything kind of ragdoll. Like, when you have your marionette and you set it down and the strings and the little things that you hold the strings with, everything just kind of goes free. Let yourself be free here as you lean and surrender over that left leg. Again, noticing where the right kind of buttermilk biscuit goes, where that right leg goes, knowing that it's okay if that right cheek comes off the ground. Notice how it feels if you kind of actively leave it on the floor. But allow yourself to yin into this shape to see what happens naturally and without effort. Yes. God is under the porch as well. Joy is in both the front row and the bleachers. If we are willing to be where we are, Giving ourselves permission to be where we are. Letting ourselves just cascade over this leg. Letting our limbs, our head, our back kind of just flow freely over the left leg. And now let's breathe in and let the breath go. And we'll breathe in and we'll visualize that broken bottle. And exhale, let the breath go. Inhale, breathe in and visualize that diamond. And exhale, the light shining through both. Breathe in and feel the serenade of a flowing violin. Exhale. Inhale. Breathe in. The music of the water dripping from the drainage pipe. Exhale. Inhale. God is under the porch. Exhale. The top of the mountain. Breathe in. Feel yourself in the front row. Exhale. Feel yourself in the bleachers. And then let's breathe in and bring that chest up. We're feeling that back come a little straighter. And we'll make ourselves into our final rebound of Shavasana. There's no rush. We're just in a lot of different shapes. So feel the body integrating and feel this chi just ready to flow as we come onto our backs. Bring ourselves exactly where we are. Feeling ourselves exactly where we are. Feeling God exactly where we are. Feel yourself quiet. Notice the body is still, but there's Also movements within. And now letting go. Perhaps visualizing a broken bottle or the bleachers under the porch, the mountain, or the diamond. Directing your awareness there. Allow yourself to drift off into that thing. Feel the life force in your toes and your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips. Feel your legs full of life, yet quietly resting. Relax the torso and all of the ribs, all the muscles between and attached to the ribs. Relax your heart space. Relax your shoulders and your clavicles. Soften the front of the throat and the space, the base of the throat between the clavicles. Allow your face to be at peace. Relax your hands and your fingers. The bones of your arm. The wrists, elbows, and shoulders. Let your head rest. Recognize the extraordinary that's within the quiet and the stillness of your being. Relax under your fingernails. Relax your earlobes.
Relax the space between the toes. Now maybe pressing the thumb, the tip of the thumb and the tip of the index finger together. The tip of the thumb and the tip of the middle finger together. The thumb and the ring finger pressed together. Thumb and the pinky pressed together. The thumb and the index pressed together again. Thumb and the middle finger. Thumb and the ring finger are pressed together. And the thumb and the pinky pressed together. Now opening the palms to shine towards the heavens. Let's inhale to draw in the breath of life. Exhale, let it fill our space. You can rest here as long as you'd like. If you'd like to roll over to one side, we can meet in a seated position together. Let's bring our hands together again and rub them together, creating some heat. And then place your hands wherever you'd like. We'll exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.